the sex drive of 1,000 hormonal teenagers. Hormone-crazed teenagers.
Really?
Basically, you've got like a monstrous sex drive.
Monster sex drive surrounded by succubi that just have no drive whatsoever, basically.
Well, more like she faints every time she even so much as thinks about it, it seems. Joseph.
Yeah.
Would you take that deal?
I don't know if I would or not.
Even if you did get a loving girlfriend out of the deal?
I mean, that would be nice, but when
who respects you for who you are?
When you're like, when the other actions are like doing a dead fish, then it's like, no.
Anyway, so in the manga that I found that in, it actually seems like, basically the girl isn't able to do anything. Basically, she's a failure as a succubus until she meets this guy.
Oh!
Who basically accepts her. Then she very clearly starts to come on to him quite heavily.
I see what you did there.
What?
Come on to him?
No. Not literally come on to him.
But
I mean, like, it's like she's a lot more relaxed around him, and most certainly a lot less, more defenseless, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, she
steals his soul, but not for the devil.
No. Joseph, think about it this way. She lives in his house. She cooks food for him. She basically comforts him and makes, like, basically before she kind of became super defenseless around him, he was pretty much like, I can't imagine life without this succubus in my life.
Yeah.
In fact, when he was trying to brag to his friends about her staying with him, they immediately started talking about her in a way that really pissed him off. So he went like, I'm gonna show them what she's actually like. So he beat the shit out of them.
Oh my goodness.
And then dragged them to his house, where she took care of them and fed them.
Oh my goodness.
As in, she patched them up.
Yes.
And they basically, it's like when she kind of left them awestruck, and it's like once she was walked out of the room to do something real quick, they turned to him and they went like, we were wrong, man. Can we be a part of your household from now on? And the guys basically went like, fuck off.
Gosh.
He's like, no.
Go away.
This is my heaven, not yours.
Mine. You can go find your own succubus.
Well,
she basically does everything that a woman does when she steals your soul.
Well, like I said, perfect waifu material.
See?
And she didn't really come into it with ulterior motives, such as sucking him dry.
I'm not saying.
I mean, in the money sense.
Yeah, well.
The thing is that she's seen as a failure of a succubus because, one, obviously she can't do succubus things, like charm men.
Mm-hmm.
And funny thing is that
somehow she's very charming to men.
it's like most people, like, she tries to get a job, and basically the people that interview her goes like, so you're useless as a succubus. And basically go like, get out. Because it's like, nobody really wants her for who she is.
She has the long-haul charm, not the short-term charm.
Yeah, it's like, and then when you actually do get to see like another succubus, it's in the story, and actually see her interact with the main characters, you can tell that she's basically this bitch and a slut. Terrible personality, really
Crack
slutty.
Crack whore, okay, got it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except
It's like
her
you can
crack-
tell that she's supposed to have like a pretty face, but let me make one thing that's, of course, is a very important detail. She is less well endowed than the succubus waifu.
Gosh. Yeah, crack whore, except her crack is the souls of men.
Yeah, thing is that they can use this charm ability, I guess. And I guess when you've got like the sex drive of like 1,000 hormone-crazed teenage boys, you basically go like, pathetic, your charm is weak. Pathetic.
Gosh.
Basically, he learned from a doctor that his sex drive is so strong that if he were to have, that he could go basically for as long as he wants.
What is it with manga and anime that...
I don't know. But basically, if he went as long as he wanted, his partner would die.
Yeah. That would mean he'd never climax then, too. So he'd
And know what he
never
was
have
told?
kids.
The only suitable partner for him would be the succubus queen. Basically the most powerful succubus.
Gosh.
And in the manga, in some of the more later chapters that were released, you know what is alluded to? Like, basically early on, she basically straight up says that she's related to the succubus queen.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, it's alluded to that she's in fact the daughter of said queen. So, yeah. But basically, women in his neighborhood look at him with disgust. Succubus has run away because they think that he's going to kill them. Kill them by his sex.
Yeah, aren't you supposed to suck their souls? That's after they climax. This dude's never gonna climax.
Anyways, the only way that he's able to release sexual tension, really, to basically calm himself down that way, is basically by petting a cat. Yes, touching the pussy helps him relieve stress.
Oh my goodness.
Later on, it's found out that that is a nekomata or whatever. Basically, the cat has a human form, and she's basically been absorbing his sexual energy.
Oh my goodness.
And becoming stronger and stronger.
I am stronger now. Oh my goodness. I mean, sex does drive a lot of improvements in the world.
She's basically his house cat. How she ended up becoming his house cat is she was an abnormality and was basically kicked out of the litter. Until he stumbled across her when she was basically on her last legs and took her in. It was kind of, oh, so you're all alone too, eh? Because, sex drive.
Sex drive of
So
1,000 teenagers.
basically, yeah, you basically ended up with 3 misfits living in the same house.
Gosh.
So,
The only reason that he get released by petting the pussy is because the pussy's secretly absorbing all of his energy.
yeah, and the thing is it's like they go to the beach. Yeah, you can imagine what happens there. He gets sexually excited. The cat's holding up a barrier. Cat girl's holding up a barrier to kind of hold off, to sort of help deal with the sexual tension or whatever that's going about because of him. And then she gets pissed because they've got such a pure thing going on where they're just playing ball in the water. Playing with balls in the water, not... Yeah, I know.
I wonder how.
And she gets frustrated watching it, So she tries to expedite the process, but it's not because suddenly Succubus girl is laying on his chest, and top half of the bikini is no longer on her.
Oh. Ooh.
And she says, "Don't look down." So obviously, he looks down.
What are you doing? They say don't look down. You'll look down.
He looks down, sees her, and it's sort of a flash. And then you see basically the barrier breaking and the cat girl sitting there looking up like...
I thought the cat girl was absorbing energy, so I thought that would strengthen it.
Well, even the cat girl has her limits. So, like, that's a lot of energy to absorb. I mean, seriously, 1,000 of them? Anyway, so you see the barrier break, and then you see her look up at it, and in horror, it's like, oh shit, and then on the beach. I mean, like, she literally explodes.
Yeah.
He runs up to her, and she's basically burnt up. She's in cat form, and she's all burnt up.
How'd that happen? You got horny, boy. What did we say
really
about horny? No horny, just a little horny? No horny!
The problem is that with the fact that the girl that he's interested in is basically a hot succubus girl that's completely defenseless and is somewhat clumsy at times.
I think that was beyond somewhat clumsy.
Well, that was because the cat girl had control of the waves and decided to try to help them get a little closer. Which backfired for her. Honestly, when I initially read it, I kind of read it over it a second time and went like,
just a second.
How did you not see that coming?
Did you not sense the problem here? Really? Like, were you trying to generate, like, more power to absorb or something? Because if so, you definitely did it, and boy was it overloaded.
Oh. Here's actually what she's thinking when she's actually watching them playing in the water. She says, "Damn it, I feel like vomiting. I feel like shit. I had to put up a huge barrier to keep people out. It's a pain to keep up. If I were to compare it to something, it'd be like stuffing your belly full of red bean paste buns over and over again."
Red bean paste buns. Very interesting pick to use for that one.
Oh, and she says, "Gosh dang it. After all, these kids are very aroused right now."
Yeah,
How much sexual tension can you two have? Any more and the barrier will fall apart. Oh, and then she says, "And Yuki, you're looking down there too. I'll barely be able to hold it."
I thought the sexual energy was supposed to make you stronger. Apparently not.
Well, I guess like, she said it did, but it's like, you know, I'm pretty sure it might be the case of there's a limit to how much you can intake in a day. It's kind of like putting on fat. You can't just eat all day just without pause, can you? That is unless you're one fat fuck.
Or you're that one guy that basically they could open his mouth and look all the way down into his stomach.
Well, he's like one in a million.
I know, but that's pretty amazing, the number of stuff that he could eat.
Just then, one cat's frustration was about to reach its peak. The longer she looked at the playful scene before her, the more the pain in her stomach grew in her stomach. she says, I'll do it. For you, that cliche romantic comedy event. Massive wave, and then you got the interesting event.
I don't look down.
Yep. And then she realizes her mistake. She says, let's see, she says the barrier, and then she says, idiot! And then, yes, she explodes.
Should have saved it for home.
And then that was the most recent chapter.
Should have saved it for home.
I'd say shouldn't have done it at all. Because, I mean, like, seriously. She freaking blew up.
No, should have saved getting them close together for home. You know? Like that.
This author also made a story that was basically, it's like, what kind of maids do you like?
Gosh. Stupid question.
First, you had the childhood friend becoming your maid. Then, you have the gyro. You know what that is, right?
Not quite.
What's the best way to describe it? The girls that typically have, like, that have anime girls that have basically dyed their hair blonde, have tanned skin.
Oh.
Are you kind of getting that?
They're going for the white girl persona. Got it.
And they're very forward with being flirty.
Mm-hmm.
Type of deal. Okay, how about this? I'll just read one of the lines. Basically, she sees he's the kid she's going to be serving. She says, "Little master, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know." And by the way, she's kind of pulling her thing slightly down. Not much. And then let's see, she says,
just enough.
"Aw, you're blushing. So cute." And let's see. Then you've got Airhead. The Airhead maid. First prize.
Just one airhead?
Oh!
Tear it down.
These are all like stories where it's like
Doggone
5
it.
years after the initial meeting. It's like you should see the initial meeting, then you see like 5 years afterwards.
Oh.
So the first one, the childhood friend, is confessed to by her now master, the Gyru or whatever.
There's this whole like master-servant relationship dynamic too.
Yeah, is basically comforting her, the person she's serving, after he got basically rejected by the girl he liked by letting him literally cry into her chest.
That's so nice of him. I mean her.
And then you have the airhead. Basically, initially, she kind of goes like, she's kind of complimenting her master, saying that he's amazing and that he doesn't really need her. And then she goes like, oh, but then then I wouldn't be needed anymore. 5 years later, he's putting a ring on her finger.
Mm-hmm. That's what happens when you cry into mommy
then
pillows.
you have the cool maid. Let's see, I have been appointed this duty by the head of the household. My name is Kuromori. I shall be instructing you so that you can become fit to inherit the family name. I ask that you come well prepared. Yes, ma'am. Oh, Kuromori-san. Again? Young master! You misunderstand, this is just... Yeah, that's 5 years later, she isn't so cool.
Oh, yeah.
She's more of a pervert, if anything, I'd say. Which one sounds like your favorite?
I don't know.
The childhood friend, the airhead, and the,
Mommy pillow maid?
the straightforward, flirty one? Or the maid that's basically calm and collected until you find her laying in your bed sniffing your sheets?
That would be really weird, honestly, that last one.
Yeah, I mean, like...
Are you okay?
Some guys would probably dig it, but... It's like, hey, why are you sniffing my sheets when you can sniff the real thing?
Yeah, that's honestly like...
It's like, hey, if you were into me, all you had to do was ask.
All you had to do was ask to sniff the package.
Oh, here's another thing. They're all hot. Important detail.
They usually
hot and
are.
well endowed.
They usually are. You've just got to pick which one that you prefer. Which personality do you prefer? They're all well endowed, but which personality do you like more?
Yeah, pretty much. But still, Succubus waifu is, really high up there for what the really good ones are.
Succubi usually can take a lot.
Especially that Succubus. Thing is that there's actually a part in it where she's basically getting comforted by her grandmother because I guess she had just gotten revealed as being sort of a failure as a succubus. And her mom basically was pissed at her.
Go figure. You're my daughter! You're supposed to be better than that!
You're supposed to be the most successful and slutty succubus around! That's basically the way that succubuses think they need to act. The grandmother, the great-grandmother actually, is how she's referred to as in the story. Which, oh, by the way, she doesn't look all that old.
Well, go figure.
She doesn't look like a 12-year-old. She looks like your age at most.
When you're immortal, do you really have to age all that much? Think about vampires. Well-endowed vampires.
Yeah, but it's like she looks about like your age, pretty much.
Yeah, well...
Anyway, so she's comforting her, and she says that she's frustrated. She remarks that she's frustrated at how succubuses now act.
Yeah.
Basically saying how succubuses... how they used to act was they'd find their one true love
and suck their soul,
and then they'd charm them.
Yeah.
To basically tie the knot. And then stick with them permanently, or basically till they die.
I'm gonna take you to hell with me. How does that sound?
Well, I'm not really sure how the society and all works, but essentially... In this story, succubuses were not quite the way that they were, basically, not quite the way they are or in the modern day in this world.
Yeah.
Basically, modern succubuses are seen as basically slut.
Yeah.
They're basically sluts.
So-
It's like, think sexual freedom thing.
Yeah. So
Movement.
So first of all, the original concept of succubi being like these demons that come in and steal the souls of men through sex, where do you think that initially came from?
I have no clue.
Like,
You could probably find it on like Infogalactic.
yeah, I know, but it's like, was it like some method to try and discourage people from like...
I remember watching a video talking about like what were they called, lucid dreams or something like that.
Yeah.
Basically where you can't move but you're basically awake.
Yeah, the what is it?
You had like the one version of it was called Incubus, which is basically the male equivalent to a succubus.
Yeah,
I'm guessing it's probably something like that is what happened, because it's like, it doesn't make sense to simply label it as incubus, because logically you basically have like have it go both ways.
Well, what was the originating idea, or what were they trying to discourage people from doing? Were they saying like the harlots were succubi, and so in order to they were creating an allegory so that it's like, yeah, if you do this, you're basically going to go to hell, and they take you with them. And then it turned into like this cool, like, now it's an anime and it's funny, haha, hee thing. That is a question.
Basically, where do succubuses originally come from?
Where did they come from and where are they going?